Hey, it's Mark Leonard with your video thought for the day. Well, I'm outside the library and it just looks really good right now. It's done. It's been built. It's in use. It's a wonderful feature. On the other hand, if I turn this way, you see a construction site. It's quite a mess. It shows some promise, but it still needs a lot of work. And it reminds me a little bit about myself. That brings me to your video thought for the day. You see, I know that God's been working in my life, but I also know that I'm still under construction. I've got a long way to go. Sometimes I'm not as careful as I need to be in the way I treat others and the way I speak. Recently, I was a little gruff with someone that I didn't need to be gruff with. And, it's the kind of thing where you just wish you could take back 3 minutes of your life so that you could be a little bit different than you were. But I know that God's got me under construction right now, and He's working to make me something that's a far sight better than it is today. It reminds me about one of my favorite passages Paul wrote to the Philippians. And in the 2nd chapter, he says that God is working in you. And he's talking to the Philippians, but he could be talking to me. He uses a present active participle. God is working right now, in the moment. God is working in me to help me become who I need to be. He's transforming me, he told the Corinthians, transforming me daily into a better image bearer of Him, so that when people find out I'm a Christian, hopefully it bears a closer resemblance to Jesus tomorrow than it did today, or certainly than it did yesterday or whenever. That's the nature of our life. I'd love to say I'm all put together and everything is great, but I'm going to be a realist and recognize I'm under construction. You're under construction too. So what does that mean? That means that sometimes we just need to accept that we're not doing everything the way we ought to be doing it, that we make mistakes. And we've got to give ourselves that slack, always trying to make amends, always trying to apologize, always trying don't use it as an excuse to make mistakes, but recognize when we fall down, we get up, we try to fix anything we broke, and we try to keep going. And that's God at work in us, because we're not a finished project. We're a project still under construction. So that also means, before I let you go, that we need to cut other people slack too, because other people are at different stages of construction. Some may show more promise than others. Others are quite the mess, but everybody is in the process of hopefully becoming better if they're following God. That's what God says. He's working in you. He's working in me, and we get to work with Him so that we become more of what He wants us to be. So that's your video thought for today.